You know what it is, black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy.
You know who it is, black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy.
Odie, Mari, Sodi, Mari,
Mari Sodi.
black and snurdy, black and snurdy.
Black and snurdy, black and snurdy.
Hey, oh.
Yes, Mo?
Are you ready?
Let's go!
Black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy. It's the Black and Snurdy podcast with Odie and Maurice.
What? Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo.
What's the scenario? Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario? I like that.
Thank you. I was having a moment there. Hey everyone. It's me, Odie.
And it's me, Maurice.
I thought you, for some reason, I was like, thought you were going to be like, and I'm a roadie. And I was going to be
you
like.
thought I was just, because we're in a rapping mood right now.
Yeah. I thought that I envisioned you doing that. Like, you're trying to rhyme. And I was going to look at you and be like, I can't. But you didn't. So.
Yeah.
It was all the story that I made up in my head.
Yeah. Funny how that works out, right? Funny how stories in our head aren't actually anywhere near reality.
More often than not, actually.
Yeah.
Everyone should just take that as a reminder. A lot of times, those stories that you cook up in your head are probably actually not gonna ever happen. So,
yeah.
Are you excited and pumped up for another episode of the Black and Snurdy podcast?
Another one.
Yes, you better believe that I'm ready. You better believe that.
Did
I'm
you
excited.
add that recently? I feel like that's a new one.
Yeah, I did. I also added. Hey, do you want to pitch the gold one again?
All right, friends, we're getting a new drop. COVID is in the building. God bless. The COVID is in the building.
I did it. I told you. I was going to do it.
You did, and that is honestly perfect for this episode.
Fantastic. Yeah. So you want to just dive. How are you doing? I never really asked you that at the top of these things. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good right now. You know, the day's over. The weekend is here. We're recording this at a very appropriate hour.
Yes, it is. We both have our energy about us, right?
Yes, we have our energy about us. It's very good. I feel like after this, we could like watch a movie or something.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like I'm going to be tired and annoyed and grumpy like I usually sometimes am.
I mean, well, let's see how long this takes to record. I don't know necessarily about that.
But, I mean, just in general, I feel like, I'm just glad it's the end of the week.
Yeah.
That means I can rest. I got my nails done yesterday.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. I was about to snap.
I know. Which I felt really happy about. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. How are you?
I am feeling fantastic. I've been saying fantastic a lot, but just like I'm in a pretty good mood. As a matter of fact, I want to first and foremost give you a shout out. Because I think you and I hanging out the previous night together, we were just hanging out, just getting drinks, like friends do, really lifted my spirits. So shout out to you.
I am very happy that I actually come out because I feel like you're in the house all the time. And when I realized how close I was to you, I was like, oh, I could probably drag him out. If it hadn't been raining, I would have just walked over to your so we can go to that bar that's near you, but
yeah,
I wasn't gonna do that.
No, it's fine. No, it's
but
fine.
I wanted you to come out and hang out with me, so I'm glad we got to do that. And that place was pretty fun, even though the drinks were a bit watered down.
They were definitely watered down. How do you water down a Long Island?
I think the alcohol itself is watered down because it was making me feel like when I was at the resort in DR, I was getting drinks. And I wasn't tasting anything. And I was getting proper alcohol. Like, I was ordering, they had, Crown or something. And she gave it to me, and I was like, I mean, it's Crown flavored. It's like the difference between Tropicana and orange drink.
Yeah.
It looks the same almost, One's a little
it
bit.
does not look.
It doesn't. The orange drink is like orange drink is the color of my nails, which are currently neon orange.
You can smell the powdery residue
You can
off of that drink
like
from a mile
Tampico.
away.
If you're drinking Tampico, you don't love yourself. If you're an adult drinking Tampico who can afford to get a regular orange juice, or even like you don't even have to get regular orange juice. You can get the
frozen Minute Maid one.
The Minute Maid one. What is that other brand that's like two? It's usually like 2 for $5, like Sunset oranges or something like that.
Simply Orange?
Nah, that's the Fufu one.
Yeah, those are the upscale ones.
But you could even find a regular 100% juice, orange juice in the grocery store as cheap as $2. And it'd be not looking like Tampico and any of that bullshit.
Before we get to the pop culture section, would you believe me if I told you that I used to add sugar whenever I make those frozen orange juice drinks at home with my mom?
I do believe
and it would be such a thick film of sugar at the bottom of it. That's how I made all of my drinks back then. I don't know what else to tell you.
I can see. I know.
How I don't have more health problems right now, knock on, there's literally no wood. This is made of wood?
Yeah.
Knock on wood. There we go.
Yes, I know that you probably did that and enjoyed it, and I'm glad that you have grown out of your sugar addiction.
There's no room in my refrigerator. That's mainly the reason why.
If you made that now, I would come over to your house and smack the sugar out of your hand.
Hey, wait for the winter time when I get I'm speaking this into existence in the winter time when I get to my own place and you come over. Fantastic, yeah. When you come over, you'll see that's one of the first things that's in my refrigerator. It's going to be like, here are the beverages. It's going to be a big-ass gallon of water, a big-ass like thing of Kool-Aid with the sugar just like crystallized at the bottom.
I'm going to scoop it out. And I'm going to pour it into other jugs and dilute it with water.
A different picture with orange juice in the same setup. Just big, thick crystals at the bottom of sugar. And I don't know, maybe a cream soda because I'm on a kick right now. I'm on a cream soda kick.
Dilute all of your homemade drinks.
Ironically, I feel like cream soda with sugar in it would be too sweet.
Because it's cream soda. Yeah. Yes, it would be exactly too sweet.
Yeah, I agree with you. We're in agreement together. How about we go to pop culture?
Oh, man. Okay, first, before we get into the pop culture things, we have to say R.I.P. to Norm Macdonald. Very sad. I mean, Norm, he was just one of those celebrities where he was in a lot of things. You probably could, the most recent one that I loved was the Orville. But you always saw him, and he was always a delight to see on screen. He added something interesting to his character. So it's sad, and fuck cancer, always and forever.
Fuck cancer. Because
he was only 61 years old, and he was really funny. I found a tweet, and it was compiled all of these episodes of the Saturday Night Live that he did, and he was making jokes about OJ. About the O.J. Simpson trial.
Yes,
and that's
right.
what got him fired from Saturday Night Live.
That's right, I remember.
And it was cracking me up. And I remember that. Of course, when he was on Saturday Night Live, we were little, maybe.
I feel like we were 6 or 7.
Yeah, it was young. But I remember, even though I didn't really know what was going on, my mom or my grandmother or my dad would be watching it sometimes, and I would sit up there and I would watch it. So I'm I remember these skits.
Yeah,
and he just was always so talented. So R.I.P. We're gonna miss you, and I hope that he at least got one more season on the Orville, fully, so that he just has a little bit more. Because every time a celebrity passes, I'm I hope that they have that at least one last project so that their estate can get something from that.
Yeah, it's just that I still haven't watched the last project that Chadwick Boseman did.
Oh yeah, me either.
Just because it's just gonna be so hard. Do you feel like it's gonna be difficult for you to watch the novel if his voice is there?
No, I think I'm gonna like it. If it's gonna be harder, if it's not, like I could deal with one more season of him and then moving on to another character. Like if they were to get a fourth season, I'm like, okay.
Right.
So I know obviously he's not gonna be there.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's very jarring for me when I'm on a show and it, like there's a character that I really like or the voice of a character that I really like, and then it just kind of is gone.
Yeah.
So and I'm just like he did such a great job. So I hope he gets. It's gonna be like watching The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Like if they come up with another movie and not having Alan Rickman.
Oh, and it wouldn't have Alan Rickman because Alan Rickman also passed.
Yeah,
so.
he passed away too.
Yeah. So R.I.P. to as not R.I.P. to his family, like R.I.P. and also I hope that his family, those closest to him, are okay.
Yeah.
During this time.
And thank you for all the laughs.
Yes. Thanks for all the laughs.
I thought you were about to press a drop.
Oh, no. Oh, come on. No, I was just fading out from...
You love drops.
I do love drops, but I was like... I'm not that inappropriate.
I thought you were going to do one that was like... because when I said thanks for all the laughs, I thought you were going to have one that was like a cheers or something.
I don't know. I don't know.
Like
I don't know how that matches.
Because he's a comedian.
Fair.
Okay.
Fair.
Fast
said fair.
forward.
I'm saying fair.
How old are we now? 32.
Yeah, we're.
So.
Did you really need to double check?
Yeah, I did. I don't know why I was checking my watch, but I had to check. I don't know. I don't know why. Like I was like, "What time are we?"
Why did we do that? This is like, how old are we? Let's see. There's a 9. Okay.
It's like that Justin Timberlake movie where you had the
time out or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah,
no sidetracks.
Yeah.
We're 32 in 69 in 71 years.
Mm-hmm.
You're 101.
Yeah.
And you're just like, yeah, I'm trying to go. Deuces.
Mm-hmm.
Would you not want them to laugh at your funeral because of the fact that you've brought so many laughs and joy to people's lives?
The way you phrased it, like, I know you mean people who are attending the funeral laughing. The way you said it was just the concept of people laughing at my funeral.
Not like in a negative way. Just like, he was so funny. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Remember when he did that thing? Ha ha ha.
Yeah, I personally, I don't want to have it in the traditional way. I would prefer, everybody dress up in, whatever they feel most comfortable with, and just share, fun stories as opposed to, mourning the loss. So
I already have my funeral planned out. Do you want to hear it?
Yes, I do.
Okay, one.
Of course.
There is a montage of photos with I Was Here by Beyonce playing in the background.
That's going to be so hard to figure out which photos go on there because you take so many photos.
Well, that means you just have the good get the good ones and some silly ones, you know? It's going to be like a list of songs that are both evoking emotion and talking about the majesty of my life. It's probably going to be basically all Beyonce.
Okay.
I Was Here. Freedom. I Care. Just get basically her catalog. It's going to be playing in a montage of gifts and cheesy photos and all those other things.
Mm-hmm.
And then talking about all the things just people loved about me.
Mm-hmm.
And a dance party.
Mine's just gonna have Skilo on repeat because that was my favorite song in life. and
Skilo?
yeah, I wish I was a little bit taller.
Oh, that one.
This
yes.
is gonna be that song
yes.
on repeat over and over at my funeral, and I'm gonna be buried wearing the shirt that I have.
Oh
that
my
says,
God.
I wish I was a little bit.
You're gonna carry that around for your life?
Yes, look. As I'm old and gray, and as I have to like change up my wardrobe, that shirt I'm still gonna wear.
Are you gonna wear
see
it?
like old dudes who still wear like young clothing,
Yeah.
like out there on this, when you're just like walking down the street and shit like
Mm-hmm.
that. That's gonna be me in that T-shirt. I
All
don't
right.
care.
I would like to see that. I'm gonna be very excited to see you in your little walker with your.
And we're motioning, ladies and gentlemen. We're actually doing.
I
the
mean, how
movement.
could you talk about it and not do it? Anyway,
Yeah.
all right.
Talk about it? We be about it. Anyhow, so where are we?
Wow. I'm not gonna transition that way. There's something else that was very sad.
Mm-hmm. Should I put the music back on?
No.
Okay.
Usher, Julianne Hough, and Priyanka Chopra Jonas partnered with Global Citizen to have the Hunger Games. Just
Is this how you pitched this to me when you initially told me about this? I don't think so. Because I'm confused. I'm listening, but I'm confused.
the Hunger Games of activism.
The Hunger Games
I'm just kidding. No, it was
of activism.
on CBS.
Mm-hmm.
It was a TV show that they had pitched, or they were going to be debuting on October 22nd, and it was called The Activist, and basically it was going to be, I believe, 6 episodes of activists competing, and seeing who's gonna win. I guess like for the charity or whatever. And they have scrapped it, and instead of it being a 6-part episode, it's going to be a one-time documentary special. A 5-episode competition series. And it was, I can't even believe, like, first of all, the one thing that I would like to point out as number one, Julianne Hough, if you don't know her, I believe she's a dancer, but more importantly, she likes a good party. She likes a good dress-up party. And when I mean dress-up party, I'm saying it in the British way, as in a Halloween party. And when I talk about a Halloween party, I mean that she wore blackface as Uzo Aduba in, 2016 or whatever, 2014. It was in the 20-somethings, which when she should have known better to not have put brown on her skin and put her hair in Bantu knots. I mean, this is the thing. She could have put her hair in Bantu knots, fake white girl Bantu knots. She could have worn a orange jumpsuit and put whatever twisty things Uzo has in her hair.
To be her character.
To be her
Orange
character.
is the New Black, right?
Literally.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you need to do. But she decided she was going to go for the full effect.
This is why I have a theory. I don't think think white people have like close enough friends in general, because like if mind you, you and I, we're close friends. If ever I say, hey, you know what, I'm about to put this on my face, you would stop me, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So like I don't think white people have like
The
close
thing
friends
is,
like that to stop them
a lot
from
of
putting
white
shit
people
on their face.
don't understand or care or think that there's something wrong with it.
Yeah.
Hence why so many of them do it. And so like,
That's why I dread Halloween every single
Up
year,
until-
because you know it's gonna.
it's like in a variety. It's like freaking
of time.
United Colors of Benetton. They like to have yellow face, brown face, black face, all of the faces. And it's like, and not even to mention the clothing. It's like they just go too far. And I want to know, how of all the white women, why did you pick her to be on here when she has such a terrible? What are you about to tell me about activism, Julianne?
Wait, you think Usher had a role in picking who was the host?
Oh, I have no idea. I don't know why they picked Usher either.
I don't know why they picked.
Only thing that I can think about with Usher and activism is, remember that movie? Was it Light It Up? Where
Yes,
he
where-
and what's that guy? He's so cute. He was so cute, and he has a very interesting name. I'm about to look it up right now. Rosario Dawson was in it. Forrest Whitaker was in it.
Wow, you really brought it back to life.
1999. Wow.
Awful movie.
Robert Ricard. I liked Light It Up. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I have to watch it again. I liked it. It was very like.
I don't even think it was playing on BET. That's how bad it was.
We need to listen. We gotta watch this movie.
No,
so
we don't.
Judd Nelson was in this movie.
I do kind of want to watch it. Just
we gotta watch it. There's so many people who are in this movie that like are really great actors, and it just had a really good message. And I would like to. We're gonna watch it. Okay, we're watching it. But either way, the last time I remember Usher having activism was when he was Lester DeWitt. Okay, I don't like I know he makes songs sometimes where he's dancing and singing about activism, but like I think of course him being a black man is like if you're a black person, not to say if you're a black person you don't need to have like a quote unquote role in activism to be able to judge this, but I'm like, okay, if you've ticked off one box, what are the other things, though?
He's
not a non-activist, but he's not someone that I'm going to think of about activism.
Like Colin Kaepernick.
There you go.
He's an activist.
Yeah. Like Jesse Williams. Michael B. Jordan.
Yes.
There's so many, like, even if I would say, like, do I consider Michael B. Jordan the same kind of activist that I would say, D-Ray is? No. Do they both serve a purpose? Yes. Even the names of the activists that are doing, even not saying quote unquote doing more, as in, like, I don't think D-Ray or Jesse Williams are in the same category as Mariama Kaba, right? They're doing different things. Mariama is like, she's wrote the oh my gosh, I hope I'm saying her name properly. She wrote "Do This Till We're Free." Do This Till We're Free. It's a book about abolition.
Yeah,
it's very good. I'm reading it. That is a very like deep work that's being done.
Yeah,
D-Ray, he's doing a lot of work on like coalition organizing. Some people, he has critiques by people, but
yeah,
he's still doing this particular type of work, and also is one of the people who's positioned outside in the public eye.
Yeah.
And then Jesse Williams is a teacher and he has a background of being able to be on TV and use his platform. Like all these people, like Colin Kaepernick, football player who didn't really have anything, grew up with a white mom who wasn't really teaching him anything. Then he started dating Angela Yee, and then she woke him up like the black woman will do.
Yeah.
And then, but like I would say like, yes, he's a full throttle activist, even if he's in the public eye. But I don't think any of those people would have agreed to do this show, because this is a ridiculous thing to be doing.
It's a ridiculous premise. Just
Priyanka Chopra.
Like which charity is going to win? Is it going to be breast cancer awareness, or is it going to be Save the Seals or some shit like that?
And I have to see if they said there was going to be. I feel like they've been bouncing around about what the people were gonna win.
I mean, like what, like.
But even if they weren't going to give them money, I just feel like it was just a terrible idea.
It's not a good idea. Like the only way that this works is if like all of the charities get some form of monetary remuneration just for participating. Yeah. And then like maybe the contestant who wins the entire thing, I guess, gets more.
Because then it's like, if they don't get money, what could they have been winning?
What's the point?
Other than, is it just like more people know about your charity now? But I think that this is the problem. Like, if you've ever read
exposure,
right? Which they're always trying to give us exposure. Have you ever read it's Adrienne Marie Brown's oh goodness, it's not Pleasure Activism, that's her second book. I'm gonna tell you, but anyway, this book that she has, It's talking about activism and basically how we can go from like making something like a movement, emergent strategy.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. Shaping change, changing worlds. And she talks about something that I really liked called shiny pony syndrome. And it's like when you have a movement,
Mm-hmm.
you have like this one shiny pony, like Malcolm X, Martin Luther King.
Oh, yeah.
Like you have one shiny pony. Excuse me, something happens to them, the whole thing crumbles to the ground.
I feel like you've referenced this before, yes.
And so it's imperative that we don't have any shiny ponies. So you can't have people who are trying to get seen
Mm-hmm.
and like wanting to be a celebrity necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
And not even celebrity as they want to be seen on TV, but like they want to be the celebrity of that world. Like they want to be the X so that when people see them come into the room, they're going to know, oh, that's so-and-so. They've been doing all this work versus.
No Sean Kings.
Yeah, thank you. No Talcum X's.
Yes.
Because Fred Hampton's birthday was, I believe, last month. And I found a clip of him and he was talking about how the Black Panthers were feeding kids all over Chicago, opening up this free healthcare center, and like, you know, just giving some of the information that they've been doing. And he was like, you know, this is why none of these newspapers can say anything negative about us, because it doesn't matter what we're saying we want to do. You can literally see what we're doing. Mm-hmm. And I think that's very important, that it doesn't matter if they're seeing you. It matters that you're doing something with what's being seen, and you're not just allowing the desire of like, I want the fame of the populace and I want people to love me and I want my name in the history books to guide you. And that's something we're having to contend with right now, because we have how many, and this is not about Black Lives Matter, but like how many Black Lives Matter type organizations are there? There's so many.
There's so many.
Like and they're not even saying that they're even connected with Black Lives Matter. There's just so many for this one particular task of like liberation. Why can't we have, not to say to have only one, like, because obviously there's so many different interests. So we could have one and then subgroups, you know, like, because you need to have everyone's different contingent. The Black gays, trans Black people, Black women. Oh, everybody has a different group that might need something else, so we need to know about it. But like, we don't need to be so scattered. We need a coalition, and we don't have coalition building across the spectrum of groups, because so many of these groups, unfortunately, you have people who want to be fame monsters and not actually organizing and building from the ground up, which is what we need. Like Ida B. Wells was not trying to be, oh, I'm gonna be this and that and da 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 da. It was like, I need to tell this story of what's going on here because my people are literally dying and being abused in front of me. Mm-hmm. So I need to do it. Is she now? Obviously, like, you know how I feel about her, but like, she's now known, yes, for doing all these amazing things because she did them, but that wasn't her motivation. Yeah. So it's like to have this show that, and you're not even like working with actual activists, which is even the worst part. If they're working with Global Citizen, which, yeah, Global Citizen is a big organization that works with a lot of people and does a lot of good things. Mm-hmm. So, but why aren't you working with like grassroots? Are you working with the people in Flint who still don't have clean water after like a decade? Are we going over there? Like, what was the point?
Right.
I'm sorry. I ranted. I was rageful.
I don't know. Like, you don't have to apologize to me or anybody. Just be your damn black ass self.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, you know?
Yeah.
But you want to know something that doesn't make me rageful?
What? What's up?
Lil Nas X.
Yeah!
He came out with the Montero. Montero was born.
Yes.
And I want to say, okay, I have not listened to every single song yet because I kept getting distracted today. Mm-hmm. But I have listened to, I want to say,
maybe like a third.
Half of them, because I have the first half of the album I've listened to. Mm-hmm. I stopped off at $Slime slime that he has with Meg Thee Stallion. And you know what I really loved about this album is that he has like a good amount of features.
Yeah.
Like, but it's not too much. I like that. So we actually get to like really hear him. Artwork is creative. It's so creative and beautiful. The video that I saw for Lost in the Citadel.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really beautiful video. Like just very dynamic and like engaging and creative. So I think he did a great job on that. And what else? Just I don't know. I love. It's such a different album. It's not. I feel like it's not just one thing. Like I can't put it down. I feel like maybe it's pop, maybe it's R&B, maybe it's like I feel like he's trying to do a mixture.
Yeah, he's not putting himself into one box. Like, he's kind of not all over the place in like a messy way,
but like just he's dabbling in what he's doing. And honestly, I would not have expected anything else from him.
Yeah, because
what else has he done besides that? Like he's had a country song. He's had a Christmas song. He has so many.
Panini. He has a devil song. Like he has all of these different types of songs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
Yeah. So no, it was good. What did you like? You listened to the whole thing. What did you think? If you have a favorite, please let me know.
Honestly, my favorite is Scoop with Doja Cat. Like so far. Like of the non-single songs, like that definitely is a standout to me.
So, okay, now that you've heard the whole album, I know that you have your favorite song from before. Are those either one of those still your favorite?
Now, you know, I had to change Montero from my morning wake up song because I was just like I kind of grew out of it, right?
Yeah.
I go to sleep to Industry Baby.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie. I might have to change it and go with
Scoop.
Actually, you know what? No, Dead Right Now. It's actually like as far as like a go to sleep song, it's actually like kind of soothing in like an emo way, if that makes sense.
I'm gonna listen to the album again with like my headphones in.
Yeah,
so I can really immerse myself into it. But I'm trying to like I feel like when I was listening to it, because I was listening to it so we could talk about it.
Yeah,
I was kind of like rushing a little.
Yeah. And
like
we were also having like a whole different conversation while the music was going on. So you haven't really had a chance to like sit with it, with it, you know what
so
I mean?
I have to do that. But I mean, so far I want to say I like it. I'm giving it this is not a type of album for me that I would say, oh, I'm gonna like listen to it the way that I am gonna listen to like Yebba or Beyonce, because that type of music is more my speed on like the average day. But I feel like this is good music for if I'm like cleaning up, maybe if I'm reading or if I'm coloring, something like that. But I once I listen to it again, I feel like it'll give me more. But I will say, from what I've listened to, no skips.
Yes, no
and
skips.
That to me is important, because if I can get through an album and no skips, and not like, and to me is I feel like I have to listen to an album at least 5 times. Sometimes I can know if it's a no skip in the beginning, but I feel like usually by the 5th time, if I'm not super in love with the song, I'll just skip it.
Yeah.
But so far, I mean, like I like everything. I feel like it sounds good. I'm trying to see if it's. I wanted
the
to
song
have
that he has with Elton John's really good too.
That one was very sweet. I was like, this is a sweet little crossover.
Yeah.
But I do hope I find complexity in it, as in beat wise. That's what I'm hoping for, because I can't really tell if I can remember feeling it was a different songs. But I think that's again because I was not 100% paying attention to everything that while I was listening.
We can always circle back to this. Like maybe next week I ask you about it, you know, and we check back in with it.
Sounds good. Yeah. But so far, congratulations, Lil Nas X. We are so proud of you.
Fantastic.
You're such an amazing young man.
I feel like he's the only one who gets the Snerd Award every single time I
Yeah.
bring it up.
We just love him.
Look, man, this podcast, if nothing else, should be remembered for our Lil Nas X appreciation.
I do.
Like-
Okay. We also have to. I have to give a shout out to another young performer that I love, Chloe Haley. Oh my goodness, Chloe from Chloe and Haley.
Yes.
I was trying to say Chloe Bailey, at the same time as Chloe from Chloe and Haley.
Yeah, you were just tongue-tied.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so she performed by herself on MTV Awards. It was really beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the performance was very fun. I think she's doing whatever the hell she wants to do.
Would you say it was Beyonce-esque?
Yeah, for sure. Beyonce's her model.
Yeah. No, I know.
Like she's been modeling herself out of Beyonce from Beyonce. Set like that's her. It's like the way that Beyonce would have modeled herself after Diana Ross. You know, like that's just what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
So I don't find that to be weird. I feel like one, that's her group, so they're studying her and what she does.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, she sounds like her. Like when I first heard Chloe and Haley from your YouTube, and this was in college, I remember thinking, oh my God, these babies sound like Solange and Beyonce. Actually, not Solange. I thought they both sound like Beyonce, but definitely Chloe. I was like, this little girl sounds like Beyonce.
Yeah.
Beyonce needs to see this. I used to tag Beyonce the videos, share them to her all the time, like sign them.
Now, I'm trying not to sound old. Correct me if I'm wrong. They're also on Grownish, right?
Yeah, that's the sisters on Grownish.
Yeah, I love their work on Grownish. So yeah. I'm more familiar with them on Grownish than their music. I have heard a little bit of their music because, like, I think
and their albums are really good.
You and I watched like a performance that they did. Was it their Tiny Desk?
I think we watched the Tiny Desk,
Yeah.
and I think I might have played some of their music while you've been here.
Yeah.
But their albums are always really good. Their voices are impeccable.
Beautiful voices.
They're gorgeous young girls. Like they've been always so. I remember when I first saw them, I thought these are the cutest little girls, and they have just grown up to be beautiful women. I love them, and I love that Chloe is kind of. I feel like she is doing what Lil Nas X is doing in a sense of trolling the crowd. Like from what I felt like in the performance, I feel like she's different than Meg The Stallion. Where I can tell that Meg The Stallion is like about that life.
Right.
And where Chloe, even though she's doing the same thing, it's like she is trying on this persona because she wants to and because people have told her that she can't be it. And just I could relate to that as growing up in the way that she grew up and the way that Meg Thee Stallion grew up are different.
Right.
From way Meg Thee Stallion has described her upbringing, right?
Yeah.
And so I feel like I can relate more to Chloe's kind of upbringing, and seeing how like behaving like Meg Thee Stallion would have been looked down upon. So now that she is able to do whatever the fuck she wants, she's going to push those limits and be like, well, maybe I want to do that. Like, why is it bad if I want to wear a leotard and like dance around and shake my butt? Like, it's nothing. There's no. I'm not the one with the issue with it. You're the one with the issue,
Right.
And now, like, whatever, fuck you. And so I feel like it's something that she has to get maybe a little bit more comfortable with. Because I felt like in the performance, that's kind of what it gave off, is that maybe she wasn't super comfortable. But also, I feel like what could have been that reason why I was seeing that was it felt like there was something happened on the stage during the performance that like threw her off. So maybe there was like supposed to be, I don't know, like sometimes, you know, at the MTV Awards, they have like drops come down or a stage thing happens or whatever. I feel like something was off, but she still did a great job. She's still an amazing singer and dancer, etc.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to see her have as long of a beautiful of a career as Beyonce, and like I'm glad that she has her family around to protect her, and I am hopeful and that Beyonce's team is around to protect her because she's a beautiful young woman. There are a lot of, unfortunately, people that are like predatory in this world and in the industry, and so like I'm just grateful that there are artists that have people around on their team that are like looking out for them, because when you hear about we've been having the R. Kelly case has been going on for such a long time, and like this week there was another like quote unquote bombshell thing about it, and it was just like this is so fucking annoying that Aaliyah she can't just rest in peace. Like
her name has to be dragged back into the mud, like because of this man. And we have to like hear all these things like about her, Aria. Sorry, Aria's the cat, okay? She's here doing something, and I don't know what the heck it is. It's like... I was hoping you would just... I'm sorry, I can't. It was just very distracting to me. Okay. Anyway, whatever. I don't care. Whatever. So, anyway, like, they have this thing come out, and now we have to talk more about her and discuss her trauma, and it's just like... It's just frustrating. Yeah, it is. I did get a lot of joy listening to her most recent album that came back out. Aaliyah, it's on, so I was listening to it, and I was like, you know what, Aaliyah, we are going to love you forever. We're going to make sure that man burns in whatever kind of way, and that is our tribute to you, because you were a beautiful soul who gave us beautiful music that will stay in our hearts forever. Why were you doing that in slow motion? Because I hesitated. I wasn't sure if like you've been very hesitant on the drops this week. Look, I don't know. Like I'm hesitant. I hope that's the name of this episode. Hesitant on the drops. That's a good title. One. That's a good one. But yeah, but no, I had to double think right now, or double check myself. Like, am I cheering for the right thing? Yes, I think I am. Yes. Okay. I'm cheering for Aaliyah in her memory, in her album. So, do you want to talk about? Tell me which one you want to talk about first? Nicki Minaj being an anti-vaxxer, T.I. and Tiny's sexual charges, or Texans beating up a waitress? Let's do T.I. and Tiny's, because I think that'll be quick, aka it'll take 20 minutes. But yeah, let's do T.I., then Texans, then Nicki. Okay. In that order. So this is from the New York Times. Prosecutors in Los Angeles have declined to pursue criminal charges against the rapper T.I. and his wife Tamika Cottle Harris. How come they don't write out T.I.'s name, but they wrote out Tamika's, because she goes by Tiny? But either way, whatever. Yeah, Clifford Harris, I think. Yeah, it's Clifford Harris, right? But whatever. Fine. Following an investigation into whether the couple drugged and sexually assaulted a woman in 2005, citing the statute of limitations, according to a document from the district attorney's office. The statute of limitations is 10 years and has expired. The Los Angeles County authorities wrote in a charge evaluation filing made public this week. Without the strengths and weaknesses of evidence being evaluated, the case is declined due to the expiration. So this just means that this doesn't. I want to be clear for everyone who does not have reading comprehension or have an understanding of the law. The statute of limitations means if I do X, I have to be charged by a certain amount of time, or else it is now an invalid charge. Yeah. So, except for murder, there's no statute of limitations on murder. Yeah, murder is just murder. So because this happened in 2005, she had it until 2015 to come forward and speak about it.
Unfortunately, that did not happen. So now that's thrown away.
Yeah.
However, we do know that it was such a large amount. It says that in February, the lawyer Tyrone A. Blackburn sent letters to the law enforcement authorities in Georgia and California calling for criminal inquiries on behalf of 11 people, including 4 women who accused the pair of having drugged and sexually assaulted them. The letters described eerily similar experiences of sexual abuse, forced ingestion of illegal narcotics, kidnapping, terroristic threats, and false imprisonment at the hands of T.I., born Clifford Harris, Miss Harris, a member of the R&B group Escape, who's known as Tiny, and their associates.
So, like, can I ask a question? And I want to be as sensitive as possible.
Mm-hmm.
The statute of limitation for would this be considered assault, sexual assault, or what charge would this be considered? And it's only 10 years?
Okay, I'm going to read you direct from what the lawyer said.
Yeah, okay.
Mr. Blackbird said the prosecutor's decision does not vindicate Clifford Harris and Tiny Harris from the act of raping and drugging Jane Doe. It only amplifies the need to do away with the statute of limitations for sex crimes. The statute of limitations, this is no longer a quote. The statute of limitations for most rape cases in Los Angeles before 2017 is typically 10 years. But Mr. Blackburn had initially cited exceptions that allowed the authorities to pursue older cases, as they did when they brought charges against Harvey Weinstein related to an incident that took place more than a decade earlier. He said that the exception ultimately did not apply in this case because there was only one alleged victim in Los Angeles. So if there had been like 5 or 10, the way like in Harvey Weinstein's case there were a lot of them,
right?
Then they could have possibly looked into it. But because it's not that.
But you said there was 11. Not you
but
said there were 11.
There, but not all in. There's only one in Los Angeles.
Oh, there's only in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Got you.
So we don't
understand.
have.
I understand.
This is not saying that. I don't know if Georgia had has brought charges on them yet. Because LA brought charges in May, and this article does not say anything about Georgia. So who knows what's going to happen with that? But I just want to remind everyone again, this does not mean that they are not guilty.
Yeah.
The same way it did not mean that Bill Cosby was not guilty.
Yeah.
It just means that you don't have the statute of limitations, the legality of the case means you can't put them anywhere. But just so you know. Yeah. We've said it now three times. I've read it in the article several times. Don't be stupid.
Yes.
Please. I'm begging. Because I already know some Fotep is out here typing.
But what it doesn't matter, what you don't understand is that black men, like, are constantly, like, never really seen. So what you're saying is the
He was like going to buy NBC. He was about to buy NBC. Yeah, that's what happened.
Clifford, T.I. was about to buy Def Jam or some bullshit like that. I don't know if that's the case.
Everyone is buying NBC.
Everybody.
How is NBC such a hot...
Tiny was buying NBC. Everybody.
I just want to know why it's always NBC. What is it about NBC? Is it for niggers? Is it like niggers broadcasting?
Jesus Christ! I don't think I've ever heard you drop the it like
I haven't.
With the hard ER. God.
That's it. That's where the conspiracy comes from, because they are. I don't understand why and how it's always NBC. It doesn't make any sense.
I don't think I like that. I don't think I like you doing that. Nope. Let's refrain from doing that ever again. Unless you're going to put the A in there, and even then I don't trust you. I just don't. I'm sorry. Anyhow, continue.
But yes, okay. Fuck you still, T.I. and Tiny. I never really liked either of you.
Yeah.
So
I'm done with the music. Like, I could stand to not listen to. Like, it's just...
Tiny's were not my favorite parts, and as I've said about other people, I never thought her voice was that great.
This is, you know what?
Everybody else in Escape, beautiful singers. She just had beautiful gowns.
I want all the listeners to remember that she said this, that she had this specific critique about a female R&B singer. I want you to remember this, and then I want you to listen to the Watch Out Now, and because I'm definitely going to bring this up when we have that conversation.
And I just want you to know that, yes, I had a critique about Tiny, but what did I also say about every other girl in Escape? They have beautiful voices. I love Candy's voice. I love listening to her sing. I don't love listening to Tiny sing. Even when they sing live, she sounds ridiculous and like she's not part of the group.
Okay.
Especially now that she's been doing all those drugs and it's messed up her voice.
Okay.
So this is what happens when you've been living a life of sin, real sin. That's the type of living a life of sin, raping and drugging people.
Yeah.
That's what's happened when you be sinning like that. That's what they just take your voice. The answers just take your voice.
Sinful.
So, fuck y'all.
Fuck out of here.
Okay, and now we're gonna do the Texans.
Yes.
Because it's
now tell me this story because like even partially of it I couldn't believe it.
Have you ever been to Carmine's? Do you know what that is?
Are they a chain? I thought there
It's
was
a
only
chain.
one in New York.
No, they have it in DC too.
Oh, cool.
Chinatown.
Yeah,
No, not Chinatown. K Street. K Street. I think.
You know what? I've been to the one in DC, not the one in New York.
I've been to the one in DC as well.
Okay.
I don't think the one in New York or DC is anything to write home about, but it's Italian food. It's large plates. People seem to enjoy it.
Oh,
and I feel like it was also in like a movie or something, which is what made it popular. It used, I think the one in the city, it used to be a place like crime bosses would go. So it just like kept its quote unquote fame for being
aura,
Italian.
everything like that, just because like fucking Gambino family was there like
but
once.
The food's not really great, and it probably was great then, but now like I'm not eating there for
But
Italian
now they're
food.
a franchise, so now it's just like they just microwave and nuke the fucking gabagool spaghetti
Oh
and
my
shit.
god, get out of here! No, thank you. Okay, so there is a Carmine's in 42nd Street, and there's also one Upper West Side, and that is where this saga takes place.
West Side.
Oh goodness.
I won't distract. Continue.
3 people were arrested for allegedly assaulting a New York City restaurant hostess on Thursday after she asked a group of diners visiting from Texas to show proof they had been vaccinated before seating them. Now, I saw this video, and I was first of all when I saw the thing trending, I was like, Carmine's, Upper West Side. Oh, thank God it's not us. I just knew it. I knew it wasn't us because we don't go to Carmine's like that, and we don't go to Upper West Side like that. So I was like, ooh, good, not me. I click into it, and I'm trying to look into the crowd, and it's like, I can't really tell. I see some brown things and some afros, and I was like, oh, maybe they're trying to help the hostess. And then I get closer and closer, and I'm like, nah, it's not. We're involved. And then I just was fucking annoyed. Of course. Why? You're just being fucking dumb and hitting people for what? Because she asked you for the vaccine? You don't have the card? Okay, you can't eat there. You should have, before you come to New York, you should have looked that up. When I go to other places, I look up what their restrictions are. You should have done the same thing.
This feels more like a gripe than anything.
It's the news. It's the news you could use.
Okay.
Don't come to New York unless you have a vaccine card if you want to eat.
Fair.
And this is my fucking thing. Y'all don't want to wear the fucking masks. You don't want to get the vaccine. You don't want to close the shit down. You don't want to do anything to make the shit stop. We have Mewtwo at this point, COVID number 35 and shit. Y'all don't want to do anything. And because now they have to be like, all right, a hard head is a soft behind. Now you can't go somewhere unless you're vaccinated. That is not because of anything else, but y'all couldn't. It's not that you couldn't stay at your asses at home, because I wasn't outside, but I was going out occasionally.
Yeah.
You didn't want to wear a mask. You didn't want to wash your hands. You didn't want to stay away from people. You didn't want to stay in small groups. You didn't want to do anything. So what did you think was going to happen?
We were just at that bar the other day, and we saw like a bunch of motherfuckers just not washing their hands, not using the dryer, not doing anything. And
I'm just like, these are the things where it's like, I'm really grateful when we got there that they had that comedy show, so there was nobody out there with us, because I was like, I feel like time is coming very, very close to the point, where I'm not going to be going outside again, because I'm not eating inside anywhere.
You're right.
And I'm not eating cold food because I'm sitting outside. All you have is a heat lamp to keep me warm. Meanwhile, the freaking Arctic winds are blowing around my plate.
Right.
But people are really y'all need to take a chill pill.
Relax.
And the people, grown people, 21, 44, and 49, at your 44 and 49, at your big age, the 21-year-old, I can be like, you know what? You're not, your brain hasn't even finished developing yet. Mm-hmm. You're a young person who made a rash decision. Stupid, but you still made a rash decision. A 44 and a 49-year-old at their big ass ages fighting people because you can't go into a restaurant. Like, come on, son. Really? I'm disgusted. And like, I don't feel like people have had very strong opinions about New York making people have a vaccine card. Mm-hmm. Do I think you should necessarily force people? Well, one, I don't think no one should be forced to have a vaccine. Okay. I don't think you should be forced. But there's a difference between having a mandate to do certain things, like go to school or go to work, and being like, oh, you can't go to the grocery store if you're not vaccinated. Like, those are two different things. Yeah. I don't think you should ever get to that point. I think the only thing that should be mandated regardless is wearing a mask. Okay. And then places should, of course, provide those masks so that people can always have them and go to the place. Mm-hmm. But the mandate is coming because so many of you stupid idiots have been drinking horse juice and all this other bullshit. And then dying or clogging up the hospitals. I read this article, I forgot if it was the New York Times recently. A man had a heart attack. They had to call I think it was between 33 and 43 hospitals in different states. Mm-hmm. And he died because every single hospital they called was filled with people who had COVID. Ooh. And he couldn't go in because all of them were filled. Wait, how the no. They were going to airlift him to whatever the hospital was.
Oh, gotcha.
But you have a heart attack. When you have a heart attack, it's like you can't mess around. It could sometimes 10 minutes is like the max you have. So there we are in dire situations in places that are outside of the big cities. Even the big cities, yes, we're having a lot of cases, but a lot of these smaller places don't have the resources we have. Yeah. People are dying. Kids are dying. I just saw this article today on, I think it was Good Morning America. This young girl, 7, I think, is paralyzed because of COVID. So it's like this is not like the pandemic isn't over just because you're over it. Yeah. And nobody seems to be thinking about that. And so now here we are. And now here you're fighting over a fucking thing. Because you didn't want to wear masks in the restaurant. You didn't want to eat outside. You didn't want to do this. You don't want to do that. So what the fuck did you want to do?
I'm not sure if you saw, but I had a quick scare just now where I patted myself down to make sure to see if I had my COVID card. But I remember that I left it at home.
I did. And I looked at you. I was like, I'm not going to ask you for your COVID
I was
card.
Like, no. No, cause just in the off chance that by the time we finish this, I can go get a hamburger somewhere.
You want to make sure you're good?
Yeah, I want to make sure, but it's all good.
But I mean, like, these are the things where it's going to. I don't want there to get any more situations like this. Mm-hmm. I was thinking the other day, perhaps they should have a vaccinated side and an unvaccinated side of like a smoking and a non-smoking. And this is the only thing in some restaurants. I'm thinking with that, I was trying to think if that could be possible. But then I was thinking, then the server's
just being exposed. Like,
it would have to be like, if you're in an unvaccinated side, it would have to be like you order your food in like a cafeteria style. You just pick it up and they give it to you on a tray. Like, it wouldn't even be. You couldn't have the same service as people who are as the vaccinated side because you're keeping to put somebody at risk.
Yeah, it's like dine in and express.
Yeah,
kinda.
exactly. Yeah.
We're like, if you're unvaccinated, you have to go into the express side.
Yeah.
And if you're vaccinated and you have your vaccination card, you could just
Sit down.
Actually, it's not a terrible
Because-
idea, but the logistics I still feel like are kind of iffy.
I thought about that because at my coffee shop that I like to go to, Brooklyn Perk,
Mhm.
they have it inside, of course, and then they have seats outside.
Yeah.
And the other day I went there and I got a chucachino, which was delicious.
Mhm.
And they were,
Sorry.
and he was like, "Oh, do you have your vaccine card?" And I thought he had said something else, and he was like, "Oh, well, if you don't have it, you can sit out there." And I was like, "Oh, no, I have that." But I was thinking that could be some sort of thing where it's like you could pick up your food and you could eat it out here if there's space, of course. Kind of like when you go to like those big like in Dumbo, those restaurant places where there's indoors and there's outdoors. Maybe there could be something like that. It would just be like you'd have to figure out how that would work, and like, but even still, like that's still a risk.
That is
But-
a risk.
We shouldn't have had to get here, because there are people who legitimately can't take vaccines because some people are very, very sensitive to medicines. I have one of my best friends is sensitive to medicine. If she takes certain antibiotics, it's like throwing her whole body out of whack. So she's been, very nervous and like just staying inside and like I'm not even gonna interact with people or whatever, because for her, if she takes it, she's really unsure. Even other vaccines when she was younger, like she would get a medical exemption and she wouldn't have to take them. But all these bullshitters who are looking at YouTube and reading someone's stupid Facebook or WhatsApp message, who have no issue with them, with being able to take a vaccine, they're making it harder for people like that, and for people who may be like, I don't think immune-compromised people or certain immune-compromised people can take it. So it's like you're making it harder for those people because you just won't do the thing that you're supposed to do. It's just frustrating. I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated. And these stories like this, they don't make me any less frustrated. That's it. I'm not saying anything else.
Okay. Yeah. You sure about that? Or should I ask you? Are you absolutely sure?
No, I'm sure, but I was just going to say if you're ready to move on to the next one, the last one, we can move on.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, let's talk about it. Nikki, unless and I'm going to pose this to you.
No.
What?
No, I was going to go.
I was just going to say like do you feel that this is more of a gripe, or cuz we can save it for the gripe if it feels like it's going to dip into that territory, quite frankly.
What was that other thing I said I was going to talk about for the gripe?
That's a really good question. I know what I'm talking about.
Damn it, I don't think I wrote it.
Okay, you didn't.
Because I said it, but I don't think I wrote it.
Because we can easily just take a quick break and then
All right.
and then save it for the gripe.
I'll do that.
Yeah. Okay. Cuz I want to get in on that too.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with more of this podcast.
BRB.
You're listening to the Black and Snurdy Podcast.
We now return to the Black and Snurdy podcast.
Do you remember the 21st night of September?
You're dancing the night
away. Never been a cloud. Now, okay, quick question.
Okay.
What day do you normally think that it was before you found out that it was the 21st night?
I thought I would always say 21st and 23rd.
I would always say the very first night. Do you remember the very first night of September?
I could see it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're back with more Black and Snurdy podcast. And
We are here to, I don't know. We're here to
Are
talk
you
to you. Yeah, sorry. I feel like Aria was distracting me. She was tickling my leg, and it threw me off.
I feel like this is actually a really good segue into our mental health corner, where we talk about our mental health journeys. So let me ask you a question. How has your mental health trek been this week?
I don't know, but let's talk about LeVar Burton's, because that's what's supposed to
absolutely
be
true. Yeah.
at the top of the episode.
Yeah.
So, remember we spoke about LeVar Burton and the whole Jeopardy saga.
Yes.
All right, so he's speaking with Trevor Noah. He had an interview with him, and Trevor Noah asked him, was just talking about, like, your impact on society, and all these people love you, and he was asked him about his thoughts on this whole Jeopardy phenomenon.
Yeah.
So that's what you are about to hear.
Made it public that I wanted it for myself, that it made sense to me, and they were all about it. Well, if it made sense, it made as much sense to them as it did to me.
Right.
And so they wanted it for me as much as I wanted it. The crazy thing is that, when you set your sights on something, they say be careful of what you wish for, because what I found out is that it wasn't the thing that I wanted after all. What I wanted was to compete. I mean, I wanted the job, right? But then when I didn't get it, it was like, well, okay, well, what's next? And so the opportunities that have come my way as a result of not getting that gig, I couldn't have dreamt it up. If you had given me a pen and paper and said, well, so what do you want this to really look like?
Right.
If it doesn't include Jeopardy, I wouldn't have been this generous to myself.
That's the shipwreck that leads you to the magical island.
That's it, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
That's right.
That's what that
That's
is.
right. And you were meant to be
We
on that island.
We focus on the shipwreck.
Right.
We don't think about the island that it got us to.
The island was where you were meant to be all along.
I would love to see you make.
So I wanted us to play that because I thought that was a beautiful message of where sometimes shit does not go our way. We don't get what we want. But in actuality, it's better because then we end up getting what we need.
Yeah.
Now, he didn't say what new things are coming down the pipeline, but I know, obviously, this was such a public situation.
Yeah.
And so many people. I think Ava DuVernay tweeted something like, we need to create a talk show for Jeopardy, for LeVar Burton.
Yeah.
Even if she doesn't end up creating a talk show for him, the fact that she would even be talking about him with the amount of power in Hollywood that she has, that's a big deal. So it's I think that we just have to remember that regardless of what we're going through, it might seem like this is terrible and it's a knocking us down. But in reality, it is setting us up for better things. And I feel like we can, sometimes you need to be out of the situation for you to see that.
Yeah.
But I thought that was just, I just really love that. Did you have any thoughts on it?
So I think this was more so Trevor than LeVar, but it seemed like there was just a slight. Am I wrong? Is there a slight bit of shade at the very end there, where it's avoiding the shipwreck and focusing on the island, or am I misreading that? As far as
Shaded to who?
Shaded to old dude who was quote unquote supposed to be the Jeopardy host, but then didn't end up getting it, and now that's what everybody is focusing on instead of just giving it to LeVar Burton, or focusing on LeVar Burton not getting it. Everybody's focusing on old dude, whatever
Mike Richards
the fuck
or something like that.
whatever the fuck his name is. I don't want to say his name.
It might have been a little shady. I mean, look at the shipwreck. It does look like a shipwreck right now. They're still trying to find, what's her name? I never pronounced it correctly. Maylin Blossom, a girl from Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
She, they're still trying to find another host to go with her. She still has her, a little bit of problematic situations from before, but not as problematic enough for her to get kicked off the show.
Right.
So it's now they're just reaping what they sow, and that's what you get for being very Dwight in this situation. You guys did stupid things, you played stupid games, you win stupid prizes. And I hope that LeVar Burton gets all the things that he deserves because, you know, he's working hard. He's been working hard for decades, and he definitely deserves it. But that was kind of going into our mental health section.
Yes, it is. But also, just before we move away from that, just one quick shout out to LeVar Burton, which. There we go. And that's all I wanted to do.
Well, one, I had a question for you.
Sure. Shoot.
Do you feel like there's any time that there has been, whether recently or in the past or whatever, has there been a time where you feel like there was a shipwreck and you were focusing on the shipwreck and then you noticed that there was an island, or that you wish you would have noticed that there was an island?
Honestly, I would say my most recent job situation, whereas without getting too into the weeds of it, I was so focused on the terrible, terrible job that the previous individual was doing, and I was just like, "Is this your king?" You know, like that's how far into the weeds I was. That's how just focused on the shipwreck that I was. It took me a while to sort of like get that realization of just like, oh, the island over there is just like, you know what? Let me resign myself to the situation. It is what it is. The most, like, at the very least, what I could do is just try to help the guy. You know what I mean? And then through trying to help him, I, ended up in the situation that I am, where I have his position. But no, like I was just mired in this idea that a mistake was made, a right choice was right there. You have a whole Maurice just sitting right there, and you do nothing with him. Yeah. And I was just focused and angry on that like I just mentally had checked out. But after a while, once I had vented and once I had like just finally accepted what it was, I did see the island, and the island was just, just saying, hey, it is what it is. Move on, move forward. It's okay. Like it has nothing to do with you. It doesn't say anything bad about you. It is just what it is. And ultimately I am where I am now, and I'm grateful for it.
That's good.
How about you?
I will say that I didn't, at the beginning of the pandemic, I had applied to a few different jobs, and I wasn't getting them. I was very annoyed. And then, I have the job that I'm at now, and I'm like, I wouldn't have thought I was going to be here. I think that, like, this is the best position I could be in right now. Because we're in a pandemic, I am working in a job that is completely remote. I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to see anyone. I'm safe inside my home. And it has brought along other opportunities for me. And I was telling my therapist this, or not my therapist, I was telling one of my friends this, is that for a long time, my anxiety was really had me thinking that, like, I couldn't be a journalist, if that makes sense, or like I was bad at it, even though I knew I wasn't bad at it. Nobody was telling me I was bad at it. I just was fearful,
right,
and was having a lot of anxiety around it. And so I thought, if I was in a position that I'm in now, working as a journalist, that I was going to fail. Some of that comes from trauma from, like, being at school and not in college I wasn't diagnosed. So I had more problems than I should have if I was diagnosed, because, like, and being able to have whatever, whether it's medication, therapy, accommodations and stuff like that. So, like, I didn't do as well as I thought I would, and as I expected I would. And so I think that was very difficult for me. Even though I knew I was just as good as the other people, just as good, if not better than the other people I was in school with, because I didn't have that kind of validation of a certain GPA and certain like letters after graduating. It made me feel like, oh, maybe I can't, like, this isn't for me, or I can't do it. And I feel like being in this job has showed me that not only can I do it, but like I could do it very well. Which I feel like I'm very grateful for. But that was our little mental health icebreaker moment.
Yeah.
I wanted to have. But like, okay, so for my regular mental health this week, I actually had a really interesting experience this week when with my therapist. So I told you I have two therapists. One is for like regular everyday therapy stuff. Yeah. And the other one is for my ADHD. She's specifically for that. And so we meet usually a day apart, and we've just started meeting, so we've kind of been trying different things to see what's going to work, and like she's creating this whole, therapy plan with me, XYZ. Yeah. So we did somatic therapy on Wednesday, and I will describe it to you. It's also known as somatic experiencing therapy, and it incorporates the mind, body, and spirit into therapeutic healing work. Somatic therapy aims to treat the effects of PTSD and other mental and emotional health issues through the connection of mind and body, and uses a body-centric approach. Yeah. Unlike the standard mental health therapy types like CBT that focus prominently on the mind, somatic therapy incorporates body-oriented modalities such as dance, breathwork, and meditation to support patients through their healing journeys. Gosh.
You can't avoid the J word. You can't. It's always there.
In addition, somatic experiencing therapy sessions include talk therapy and mind-body exercises. And it's aimed to help release the physical. The therapy aims to help release how a physical body holds on to stress, tension, and trauma, rather than only resolving problems verbally.
Yes.
So it was very interesting because, I've been doing therapy for a while now, and I don't really have a lot of intense emotional experiences when I'm in therapy. Like, I've cried a few times, but that's really not normal for me. Like, that would have to be something that was like, it would have to be something really, really heavy for me to cry about.
Right.
But we were doing like the breathing, and I was noticing that, like, while we were doing this like kind of guided meditation of like where I felt the energy in my body, and I was like, well, just like I feel like, for me, sitting down for a long time, I just feel very jittery on the inside, like I have butterflies inside me, and like I would like to move. But generally I don't, because I'm sitting down and I'm doing something, and it's kind of frowned upon to start wiggling in a meeting. So I don't do it. But when I said that to her, she was like, okay, well, let's like look into, like, let's go with that, and, feel free to move, dance, whatever, like, your body wants. And like at first I was just kind of like wailing a little bit, and then she was like, well, maybe you should get up, stand up, and like dance around and like that. And so I started dancing and moving a little bit, and she was talking to me, and she was like asking me questions, and the next thing I know, I was crying, and I was like, oh shit, like, because she asked me, are you a dancer? And I was like, in my head, because dancing was something that I've always really loved, but I didn't get to really explore the way that I wanted to explore fully. Like, when I was little, I wanted to be a gymnast and a ballerina. But being in a single mom home, there's expenses that in time. And I would oftentimes like be signed up for these things and would go for a little bit, but then something would happen and then I wouldn't finish. And I feel like I would be frustrated around it then, but I feel like it's only now when I've gotten to adulthood that I am as frustrated as I am that like I never got to complete certain things or I never got to do certain things, not because I couldn't do it, but because of outside circumstances that were beyond my control. So I felt like that was a really good moment for me, like to be able to kind of release that. And not saying it's not there. Of course, it's still in there, but I'm glad that I had a breakthrough moment, and that's something that I'm thinking about. And it's like, okay, well, how can I move past that disappointment now? Like, man, I think I had told you before, quarantine, I had planned on doing, I had found an adult gymnastics and adult dance class.
I think that sounds familiar.
So I think like those are things where it's like, okay, that's something I should really, look into and go for it, like I wanted to do it. So like, why the hell not? If not now, when am I going to do it?
And when?
Yeah. But what about you?
As far as I'm concerned, my week has been pretty solid. My therapist helped me. We have a term called "smash through the blue."
Mm-hmm.
You know how like I say I'm on my blue period.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my blue period's over. I smashed through the blue.
Woot, woot.
Yep. So,
Oak smash.
Yes. But I was just talking to my therapist about just like having a sense of ennui or just like general malaise of just like I always get like this where I have this big thing that's on the horizon that's coming, right? And I work towards it, I get excited for it, I build up to it, and then it happens, and then right after that it's just like that scene from Soul where it's just like, well, now what? What's there? And then it's not me dropping back into like a depression or anything like that. It's just general, just like regular contentment. And I'm not used to being just content. I'm used to just feeling like polar extremes of either like the highest of highs or the lowest of lows. So it's just me now getting comfortable with being content and shaking it off. And like I said at the top of this, I also have you to thank for kind of contributing to sort of shaking off this general malaise. I'm gonna hit up an open mic next week. I'm gonna get back into my creative endeavor of performing stand-up comedy. I know I'm rusty. I'm saying this right now. I know I am rusty. It's been a minute. It's been a long ass time since I've actually performed.
Do you want me to go so I can go before you, and then people are going to be like, oh, God, this guy stinks. And then you're going to go on, and it's going to be like, whoa, finally, a seasoned professional.
I think what will likely happen is that we'll both stink.
And I'm going to stink more. And then they're going to be like, boo. And then you're going to go on, and they're going to love you. So it's like
I was telling my friend.
Both and.
I was telling my friend earlier today. My friend Sam. Shout out to Sam, by the way. Sam's good people. I was telling him that like I have to go back and listen to old performances or like watch old performances that I did because I don't remember any of my material. Not at all.
Do you want to know something that's going to bring you joy?
What's up?
I think I found a video of my stand-up performance. I did before.
Didn't you send me one?
I don't know. I don't think you ever watched it.
Is it on Facebook?
Yeah. Did you watch? I don't think you ever watched it.
Cause for some reason I couldn't get in. I couldn't get it to work.
Okay.
Send it to me and I'll see if maybe I can get it to work from my laptop.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's my journey this week.
Well, that's beautiful.
Yeah. That's
I think that. when you were telling your story about building up, it sounded like what LeVar was talking about of like, you have this goal, you get to it, and you're like, not saying what your goal is that you don't want it because where your position is what you wanted, but it's like, it's not giving you what you thought it was going to give. But I think that's normal. And also, like, we're in our mid-30s. Well, not our mid, but we're close to our mid-30s.
Yeah, we're in our early 30s.
We're in our early 30s. And we've had to spend, we've spent most of our 20s just trying to make it. And now we're in more, I would say, stable situations, which is amazing. Grateful. Thank the ancestors.
Shout out to being stable.
That we are here where we are. And I think that sometimes when you've had not a life of struggle, but like when you've been going so hard to get to a certain place for so long, and then now you have a certain, like, you're there for the most part, and like, yeah, this could be better, that could be better, but at the end of the day, like, you're good. That can feel like, shit, well, what's next? And I think that's just a conversation. That's just like your body has to get used to it. Like, you're getting used to this transition, like the same way when you have like a whole new life than you did before. So you have to learn how to be in this life and like enjoy it and love it and be okay with being content and not worrying about, is there a bad thing that's going to happen to like take it all away and all those weird things that our brains like to build up when we're like happy. Like, we're allowed to be happy and kind of just chill and boring, like they say, like after that like 7-year itch of when people are married for 7 years and it's like, dang, this shit's boring. Like, I feel like I need something else because what else, like, this thing is not, it's like so much going on, but at the end of the day, like, you're not bored. You're just bored. Like, it's not new that the quote unquote flame of like a new relationship is gone. So you have to do something else to kind of bring a different type of spark or whatever the case may be. But that's not a bad thing. Like, you have to be okay being bored in a relationship.
Yeah.
Not like all the time, of course, duh. But like, you have to be okay with it just being like, just okay.
Everything is just fine.
Everything, it's like okay for things to just be fine sometimes. It doesn't always have to be a roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that you Hulk smashed through your blue period. Mm-hmm. And I'm very proud of you for keeping going, even when you might be feeling tired or annoyed or stressed. You keep it moving. You're doing it great. You're thriving.
My therapist said I should put that on a shirt, and I was like, I've already spent so much money on tank tops this summer.
You gotta get a hoodie.
I can't actually put "Smash Through the Blue" on the back of a hoodie, or even the back. Yeah, it makes more sense on the back. Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea. Maybe a pullover and have it on the front.
Yep.
Ooh, I don't have enough pullovers. I don't have enough like
sweaters,
pullover sweaters.
I think you should definitely get it.
All right. Well, that's my next endeavor. Like, remember like for a while I was just wearing sweaters. Yeah. I was just wearing knit hats or both, and I would switch up my glasses and everything like that.
Yep.
The next one's just gonna be the pullover sweater. I'm going to have 9 different ones in different colors. I'm just going to swap out of them. Just bring 2 with me at every given time. Oh, boy. But, yeah, that's our mental health section. You want to talk about the shit that was pissing us off?
Yay.
Let's get into it.
Bringing it. What? We gripe it. We're not griping anywhere else. We gripe it. This safe space for us to share. We gripe it. We ain't griping anywhere else. We gripe it.
You know what it is? It's the at the end that really like sells it. Because every bit of that is just like, man, I really should re-record it. But it's that at the end where I'm like, you know what? I love it. I do love this. This is growing on me. Okay, so where do you want to start? Do you want to?
I think you should start with yours.
Yeah,
and then I'm gonna do mine because I feel like mine might take a while.
Yeah. So as a lot of you know, I'm a wrestling nerd. I'm a wrestling snerd. There you go. And there's this program called Dark Side of the Ring. It's on Vice, where they tell tales of different like aspects of wrestling, like behind the scenes, like never before seen or never before heard tales and stories of either wrestlers or moments or events. They recently had it's a documentary, and they recently had a documentary that covered the plane ride from hell. It was a 2002 flight from Europe to America where a bunch of these wrestlers were just drunk and drugged out, and they were causing all sorts of havoc. But the one thing that stood out to me as far as this story is concerned has to do with Nature Boy Ric Flair. I don't know what the correct term is, and I want to... would it be considered assault? Would it be sexually?
I think it's
assault?
sexual assault.
He got naked, wearing only his Nature Boy cape, and he was essentially helicoptering.
If you don't know what helicoptering is, because you do not have a penis, it is when you swing your body around so that it looks like it's your penis is swinging around.
Yes, and he was doing this like just on the plane in front of like everybody who was there, but then he also cornered one of the flight stewardesses and just literally he cornered her and put her hand on his penis, like without consent. It was it's just one of those things where like you hear about it and you realize that like there was a time when this shit was going on, and it's heartbreaking and it's disgusting and it's frustrating. And in the documentary, the flight attendant. Oh, stewardess. Yeah, the stewardess is telling the tale and telling how like scared she was, and just like how like this traumatized her.
Yeah,
this shit kind of.
Even when she was talking about it, she looked really like all these years later. She was
uncomfortable
and sad, and just it was a lot.
Yeah. So a big fuck out of here. Fuck you. A final flight of fuck you to Ric Flair, and I hope, and as of right now, all of his he was the spokesman for Car Shields, and all of those advertisements are getting pulled, so no more income for him in that regard.
Good.
There was rumors that he was gonna be joining AEW, the second highest North American wrestling promotion. There's a good chance that that's gonna dry up now, which is good. And yeah, just sorry, a big fuck you to Ric Flair.
Is that something he does?
He goes woo. That's him.
Okay.
So fuck you. Yeah, fuck you. You get it. Anyhow, that's my big gripe for this week. I'm sick. I'm sick. Oh. The one other gripe that I have, and it's extremely small, and don't worry, it will be anonymous. I'm not going to do that thing of just like, I'm going to keep it anonymous and then say it. But if you were given some kind of warning this week, maybe take that shit seriously. Just take it seriously. There's nothing else that I can do. There's nothing more that I can do to help. Just take it seriously, please, because today it looked like and literally every single day this week seemed like things were turning around. Today, 10, and that's the only thing I'm going to say. Just 10. and others had 50. Others had 30 and 20. You had 10. I can't be held accountable for whatever happens. So I'm just going to keep that mad. I'm just going to keep that mad vague. If you know what? If you know, you know, because I don't have the drop. I don't have it just set up right here. But, you know, if you understand where I'm coming from, and if you understand what I've been talking about in person for the last few weeks, hey.
If you know, you know.
There we go. And that's all my gripes. That's all my gripes. I'm done.
Yeah, I definitely saw when you sent me that thing, or when we were talking on the phone and you mentioned Ric Flair, and I was like, oh man, what did he do? Like, you know how I'm a cursory wrestling fan, definitely more of the people who were around when we were younger, and Ric Flair was one of those people.
Yeah.
So it's sad to hear, but also not surprising to hear, because there were other people that I've heard about throughout, you know, time, who have been, you know, people have called them creepy and stuff like that. And did you see that there was the tweet with Bam Bam talking about Ric Flair and like showing people his penis and stuff like that?
You sent it to me. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but yeah, like come on.
But
like,
what is Bam's name fully?
Bam Bam Bigelow.
Okay.
That's the wrestler.
He was basically just like, you know, everybody's seen his penis. He takes it out all the time. And I don't know if he was referencing the flight, but he was like, sometimes it's like, you know, man, you have a wife, you have kids, like, grow up. You're doing this. And it just sounded like he was fed up. So who knows if he knew about this situation.
And he has a daughter. He has a daughter who's like Charlotte Flair, who's like one of the biggest wrestlers in WWE. Like he has a family, is what I'm saying.
I think that men sometimes will be very okay with doing things to women they wouldn't want to happen to their daughter. It's because they only respect certain women. Yeah. Like, they only respect the women that they are in their family. They only respect women who they deem respectable, and they're not looking at every other woman as the human person that she is. It's like, you know, when someone's like, well, I like my black friend, and like, that's it. Yeah. You know, and I think that is one of the major problems, that people, you can't just like the people that you like because you have somebody in your family or friend group who has that person, and you just like them. You have to like everybody. Yeah. Regardless, it's like, this is not something that we can discuss, and you have to treat everyone with the respect that you would want. Like, if a man was swinging his penis around at him and forcing him to touch it, he wouldn't like that. So why do you think that doing that to somebody else is cool just because you can? But it also speaks to the larger problem of rape culture that we have, where he was doing this, people saw this happening, nobody was saying anything loud enough, or if they probably were, they were probably being cut out of the whole industry. Mm-hmm. So it's really unfortunate. I'm glad that woman got to tell her story, and honestly, after this, who knows what stories we're going to come out, that are going to get out from Ric Flair, and what stories are going to come out from the World Wrestling, any of them, the federations, the NWO, NC, whatever all the letters.
Yeah, okay? All the letters. WWE.
We're gonna find out way more of what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
You good?
I'm good.
Okay.
So I'm gonna try to not be very flustered when I discuss this, because this is very annoying.
It is a lot, too.
It's a lot. Now, I don't know if you heard, but Nicki Minaj tweeted out that she wasn't going to the Met Gala because they require vaccines. She's not ready to get hers. She's still doing her own research. Now, when I read this tweet, I said, how are you about to do all this research on a vaccine when you didn't even do research on your husband?
Ooh.
Was my first thought.
Oh, shit. I wish I had a fucking drop for that.
That was my first thought.
Wow.
Now, if you don't know, Nicki Minaj's husband, Mr. Petty, I don't remember his first name, but it's very apt that their last name is now Petty, is a sex offender. He was accused and convicted of attempted rape of a girl when I believe he was 16 or 17. He is now in his late 30s. And Nicki Minaj knew him in high school. They separated a few years ago. They reconnected, dated, got married, had a baby. So I want to know how it is that you can do all this scientific research on a vaccine that has numerous case studies at this point, but you couldn't do a simple Google search of the man that you wanted to date as a not to say that you shouldn't quote unquote research somebody, whether you're like an everyday person, but you as a celebrity with a very big name, a lot of power, a lot of money, etc. YZ, the eyes of the world are on you. It just doesn't seem. Excuse me. It just doesn't seem like she did her due diligence for that partnership. So why would I think she'd do her due diligence for a whole vaccine? So then, of course, people are like, Nicki, you sound ridiculous. What are you talking about? Like, you're really just going crazy.
Right.
So then Miss Petty decided she was going to weigh in on the situation.
Right.
And she tweeted out, and I want to make sure I had it up, but it fell away. So I just want to make sure that I'm telling you this 100%.
Yeah, of course.
And completely.
Yeah. No, if you...
So she,
if you want, I could vamp for you.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
She said that her cousins... All right, no, vamp so I can find it.
All right, yeah. No, man. Okay, so basically Nicki Minaj has been in the... Not basically, because we're going to go into this in extreme detail because there's just so much to cover. But Nicki Minaj has been in the news like...
Found it.
Okay. There you go.
Thank you.
No problem.
We can cut that part out.
No, it's fine.
Okay, fine. So, she said, my cousin in Trinidad won't get the vaccine because his friend got it. No, I'm sorry.
Are you about to do an accent? Oh, my God. She's about to do it. Okay.
My cousin in Trinidad won't get the vaccine because his friend got it and became impotent. His testicles became swollen. His friend was weeks away from getting married. Now the girl called off the wedding. So just pray on it and make sure you're comfortable with your decision, not bullied.
Why don't you do the podcast like that?
The amount of energy it took for me to try to like...
That was so much energy.
Oh, man. That was a lot.
Sounded like you were from Queens.
Wow. Oof, man.
That was a lot. Bravo.
Thank you.
Know what?
Man, the breath work.
Shout out to you for just doing that.
Okay, now I want to just explain to you what her research was.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm talking about. I'm seeing from my side.
Yeah.
She tweeted out a poll. Take the poll. Queen Radio vaccines. Hashtag Queen Radio vaccines. Before that, she said, which vaccine would you recommend? It's Queen Radio. Hashtag Queen Radio time. Talk to me. So then she put them in, and people put Pfizer gang.
Pfizer gang.
I mean, that one's the one that's FDA approved, so if you were going to pick one, I guess that would be the one.
Yeah. Shout out to Pfizer.
Shout out to you.
Yeah.
And so everybody was talking about this. Joy Ann Reid, the journalist, was talking about it and saying, you know, ma'am, you really need to, she said, for you to use your platform to encourage our community to not protect themselves and to save lives. As a fan, I am so sad that you did that. Nikki responded, this is what happens when you're so thirsty to down another black woman by the request of the white man, that you didn't bother to read all of my tweets. My good sister, do better. Imagine getting your dumb ass on a TV a minute after a tweet to spread a false narrative about a black woman.
What did she get wrong about? What did Joyanne get wrong about?
Nothing.
Exactly.
Nicki Minaj loves to fucking gaslight and play the victim and not hold herself accountable. She fucking loves it. And every time someone says something to her, it's always, oh, black woman, black woman, black woman. Are you being a friend to the black women when you know that more of us are getting killed by this disease? Not saying that anyone has to vaccinate themselves or not. It's like, if you can't vaccinate or you won't vaccinate, wear a mask, stay away from people. Yeah. That's really the only thing for you to do, and build up your immune system. Yeah. Because as of this week, I feel like 3 more anti-vax COVID-19 radio hosts have died. And several other people who were anti-vax because they were waiting have died, had miscarriages because they had COVID, have now got whatever serious ailments. So it's like, you're not telling anyone, you're not helping. If you can't help, you don't have anything nice to say, shut the fuck up. Yeah.
You have too large of a platform to be doing these antics.
Do you want to know how many people that follow her?
How many? It's in the millions. You want me to do Price is Right style right
yes,
now?
Price is Right.
Okay. Nicki Minaj. I'm gonna say in the millions. I'm gonna go 2 million.
That's your final answer?
That you gave me such a wink and an evil look.
I just looked at you.
I feel like it should be higher, but I want to play safe. I want to play safe and say 2 million. Yeah.
Final answer.
Yeah, that's my final answer. Yeah.
Nicki Minaj has 22.7 million followers.
All right, so there was a 2 in there.
There was. You were got a percentage of that right. And now, since then, of course, she has become the height of everything. Everyone's talking about this. Yeah. She even had, like, the news is in Trinidad trying to talk to people. And now, not yet.
Okay.
But I saw a tweet today that Nicki Minaj screenshotted some WhatsApp messages from this woman named Shirlene Rampersad, and she's a reporter at Guardian Media. She is looking to speak with some of Nicki's relatives in Trinidad, or friends. Yeah. So she's texting them, messaging them on WhatsApp, and she's being an aggressive journalist. And now, would this be the type of journalism I would do? Like, I, for one, like, I never really loved doing certain type of stories for breaking news because I'm not trying to, I don't personally feel okay with invading people's privacy in certain ways at certain moments. Like, I had a court case one time. It was for a double rape. And Louisiana, if you're convicted, you go to jail for life. And the court case came down. The man was sentenced, and like his whole family was there. It was a 2 to 3 day trial. And when the court case came out by the judge, or when the verdict came out from the judge, his mother just wailed. It was horrible. And I couldn't, in that moment, go up to her and say, excuse me, ma'am, how do you feel about your son? Yeah, you know? Yeah. Like, it's such an intimate moment. She is not even processing it. Even regardless of whether or not she knows her son is guilty or not, like, that's her child, and now he's going to be locked away for the rest of his life. Yeah. You know? And so I am not going to do that to someone. And something like this where it's like, I'm not going to be tracking someone down necessarily to talk about Nicki Minaj in this type of manner. Mm-hmm. But this is a journalistic thing to do sometimes.
Right.
Just depends on the person if they're going to do it.
Right.
I feel like the woman was being very aggressive. But Nicki took it definitely a much farther to like put up her information on her Instagram.
He doxed her? I mean,
she doxed her by like put her name. I feel like I think she took it down by now, but I think she had her number in one. But even she also doxed the journalist. His name is James Fielding. He's a senior reporter for the Daily Mail. And it has this is his business card. It has his phone number and his email, but it's like that is still the way that could inconvenience and could possibly endanger, but the inconvenience of if you get all of her sources or people on her story or followers call him or text him, that's going to completely jam up his phone. He's not going to be able to use it.
Yeah, it's going to jam up the emails as well.
Exactly. And so she is put on Instagram, putting up press releases in her stories. They're forcing my family to have to hide out. This is what speaking up looks like. Millions of poor people are treated this way by the people you think are the good guys. This is unconscionable. She's using her SAT words. Mm-hmm. Charlene, Rampersad, bitch, your days are fucking numbered, you dirty hoe. Mm. And, just more of the same. And I just feel like, ma'am, like you're so wealthy.
Yeah, this is a lot of energy to put into when you are wealthy, you have a child, and you could be literally doing anything else.
You know what she could be doing? She could be getting a lawyer for her husband and herself because they're going to be served with court papers, if they haven't already, for the fact that she was intimidating the woman that her husband sexually assaulted and trying to bribe her and keep her from talking about the case. That's what she should be researching. Research some trial attorneys. Research a good place for your son to go when you have to visit your husband upstate, because I think he's facing 10 years for not registering as a sex offender and traveling to to California. So there's so much for you to research and for you to talk about, but this isn't it. And I'm sick of every celebrity. Tank really disappointed me because he's going to tweet out, somebody tweeted something stupid about, I've been looking into it, and some people do have swollen testicles if they got the COVID shot. It was like 60 out of 1,000, out of whatever astronomical number of people are getting it, which is not even something like when they're testing things on people, the amount of things that you would have to have is not even close. So it's like, shut the fuck up. Mm-hmm. Everybody shut the fuck up. If you don't have a doctorate degree in a science, if you haven't been researching and studying vaccines and biology and all that, shut up.
And basically, the only research that anytime someone says, "Oh, I need to do my own independent research" or whatever like that, they're not actually doing any actual research. They're going on social media for confirmation bias to double down on whatever wacky bullshit they already agreed to.
They're reading They're reading a .net blog.
Yeah.
They're watching a video on YouTube of some guy in a kente cloth hat whose face is way too close to the mic and to the
heavy
screen.
Breathing.
They all like with their fingers crossed in front of their face so they can know that you're serious.
Audio issues out the wazoo.
Like it's very frustrating. She has so many people that are following her, so many young people that are following her. There were people protesting outside of the CDC today.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, that's...
And every day we fall farther and farther from God's pure light. This Like, what the fuck? Now, only good thing is, now I sent you something that I would like you to queue up.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is the only good thing to come from this. Now, I want you, people who are from the diaspora, especially from the Caribbean, and I feel like Africans and the Caribbean, probably Latinx people as well, will kind of will really be able to understand the enormity of this situation. But please, just to let you know, Nikki's antics made the news. There's something. Yes, he made the news. Play that, and there's something else too. I gotta give you.
Okay, and play.
Story. This one dropped yesterday morning, and as the story dropped, it was excitement. Now, Nicki Minaj, no stranger to controversy. I mean, she was here for Carnival in 2020, and that was a bacchanal with her husband, now husband, and Iowa. She would have made some outlandish statements over the years, but this one takes the cake. This is almost like what you would hear by a parlor, where somebody will tell you, well, your cousin, friend, neighbor, say XYZ. I mean, come on, Nikki, you have 180 million followers. People listen to you, people follow your particular lead. You going on the social media space and talking about your cousin friend take the vaccine and get impotent. And all of a sudden, marriage call off and some kind of bacchanal story. I mean, it's irresponsible on all fronts. One, irresponsible based on the misinformation that is going out there regarding this vaccine. There was no verification of the story. And furthermore, even on a personal note, even if this is the case, to expose your cousin friend's flat tire in the public domain like that. If the man have a flat tire, okay, he will work on that. There's herbs and punch and certain things the man can eat and bring back our vibes. But don't come now and talk that kind of talk. The thing gets so hot. Jake Tapper on CNN yesterday at 4 o'clock talk about this with Dr. Fauci. Dr. Fauci is, of course, the U.S. That's their leading mind and specialist with this whole COVID-19 pushback and the fight against the COVID-19. And Dr. Fauci had to almost, like the man was blindsided. He had to answer. He said he didn't hold nothing personal against Nikki. I mean, I don't think we should per se, but Nikki, better than that. I honestly expected better. And besides, obviously, that outlandish statement, and she was...
Okay.
It's not done.
Oh.
Talks about Trinidad, and she's from Trinidad. She's yet to collaborate with somebody from here. But that's a talk for another program on another day.
Yeah. Just...
Sorry. I'll text you next time.
Yeah, that's all you gotta do. Is just...
If I need you to stop something, I'm going to go like this. I'm not going to poke you.
You do notice that every single time you need me to stop something has been while something is playing or something is about to be played or needs to be played.
Okay, continue playing it.
No, that's it. That's the whole video.
No, that was not the whole video.
That was the whole video because it's saying watch again.
You didn't say the last part. Okay. All right. So this is the other one that you had to play that I sent you.
Okay.
Okay, so this one is the one that was embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that this one to me is the one that really is going to bring shame upon the family, and you're not going to be allowed to come to any reunions for the next 10 years.
Okay. One moment and playing.
One of the reasons we could not respond yesterday in real time to Miss Minaj is that we had to check and make sure that what she was claiming was either true or false. And unfortunately, we wasted so much time yesterday running down this false claim. It is, as far as we know, at this point in time, there has been no such reported either side effect or adverse event. And what was sad about this is that it wasted our time yesterday trying to track down, because we take all these claims seriously, whether it's on social media or mainstream media. As we stand now, there is absolutely no reported such side effect or adverse event of testicular swelling in Trinidad, or I dare say, Dr. Hines, anywhere else? None that we know of anywhere else in the world.
Yep. There you have it.
And the fact that they were just like, it wasted our time. If you're not from, like, if you're from a Caribbean household and somebody tells you that you have wasted their time,
mm-hmm.
it's just, I feel like the secondhand embarrassment, and also that I felt so triggered. I was hearing my aunties and all of them just, I couldn't take it. I'm like, this really, I would not ever go back to Trinidad again.
Right.
You can't go to any Trinidadian restaurant. You can't go anywhere that there's going to be a Trini. Just leave. Stay out. Go get a new passport. Like, you can't go back after that. Not after this. Not after you've embarrassed the family in this way.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any other thoughts?
I think it's just like I said at the very beginning. She has too big of a platform to be spreading this kind of bullshit.
Yes.
I don't know what else to say in that regard. Like, and much like the dude said, this was a waste of time. This was a waste of time.
Massive.
A massive waste of time. Think of all the things that we could have been talking about instead.
And like, Trinidad's not even a big country. So you think about if they had to go from Trinidad and Tobago searching for this unknown man who probably just has syphilis or gonorrhea.
Probably a different seed thing other than COVID, or like probably or something like that. I don't know. But boy, oh boy, it definitely had nothing to do with the vaccine. Had nothing to. The story doesn't make any sense, and it's.
I want to know
waste.
if her husband is doing some sort of sex magic on her that it's making her stupid. Because not only are you staying with a convicted sex offender, not only have you been, just saying the dumb things in media recently, but you're trying to terrify and extort a witness in a criminal case. Now you're tweeting out things, and then she had the nerve to say that the president invited her to the White House to talk about the vaccine, and in reality, all they told her, like, you consult your doctor about this before doing your own research. And she told people, she went online. I'm like, is she having some kind of manic episode? Like that, like, is that what's going on and we just don't realize it? Because I don't get it. Like, Beyonce let you have a song with her. Like, she let you do that. She doesn't do songs with anyone. And she had one. She had more than one with you. She let you touch her in public in a photo.
Yeah. Yeah, you're really wasting that. You're wasting it.
You're wasting your Beyonce NDAs.
Yeah.
Because she will never do a song with you again.
You're never going to the Rock Nation picnic again, ever.
You won't have to make a decision between $500,000 and a dinner with Jay-Z. Because you're not invited. He probably would pay you the $500,000 not to come. Because you just bring toxicity. You and Kanye, you should get married. Divorce him, marry Kanye, so we could have two huge egos and all the same. So maybe y'all could cancel each other out or something.
I think I merged the Roots picnic and the Rock Nation brunch together. I think that's what I.
Didn't they have a? Oh, I thought they had a picnic one year.
No, I think it's a Rock Nation brunch. That's the famous thing that the celebs want to go to.
Does that one cost $500,000?
It's something. It might as well be the Black Met Gala.
That's what I was just about to say. Is like the Met Gala. Did you watch the Met Gala?
No,
Did you look at any of the pictures?
Yeah, I saw a lot of the pictures.
I did too.
I saw Lil Nas X.
They were great.
Fantastic. Yeah. My go-to word of the day.
All right. That's my gripe.
That's your gripe?
That's it. That's my gripe.
Well, let us take a deep breath in and a deep breath out, and let us focus on better things and talk about the things that made us happy this week.
I'm the baby merchant. Tots are us. I give you all the service and no damn fuss. Give the baby merchant just a week or two. I'll have your baby for you.
So what is actually making you happy this week?
Well, that song.
Of course.
That's
obviously.
number one.
Always.
It's gonna just never it's never gonna not make me happy.
Mm-hmm.
But number two, I got to see my cousin and my baby. My baby is inside the belly still, but I got to talk to him. Nickname is Dindu.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very excited.
Awesome.
He's going to be such a cute little chocolate button. And I'm just so excited to squish all over his face and kiss all over his face and smell him and change his diapers and look at him like vomit all over the place and just like snatch him up. I'm already so in love with him that I can't take it. And I know he's going to know my voice because I'm always screaming at him in there. Like, hey, baby, I miss you. I can't wait to see you. I need to, like, make my friends with babies and my family with babies. I got to make them, like, recordings of my voice so that the baby can, like, start getting used to it.
Yeah.
I think that's just the way to go. And speaking of babies, my babies in Maryland and my babies in London are going to be a year soon. Oh, man.
Shout out to them.
They're going to be here. I got to message my cousin right now and be like, if you're having a freaking baby party, you need to tell me now.
Yeah. So that you can go go visit them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, that's a inside joke. Very, very deep inside joke based on the conversation that we had earlier. Anyhow,
that was it. Yeah. And I went to dinner with her. We got really delicious food. We went to this French restaurant in the city. And last but not least, I got my Telfar bag. I actually have two of them, a small gold metallic one and a large oxblood one.
Yeah.
So
you got the big one that got the big air horn. You got the small one that got half of a second.
Thank you very much. And whenever they open back up I got it during the bag protection program. Whenever they open that up again, I'm going to buy one more bag, maybe two, but more than likely I'll be able to buy one more bag, and it'll be like a certain because that one's a bright color, but it's small. But I was thinking I want like the lavender one. Or they have this cerulean color that's really pretty. But I want like a medium because this is the large one. Like he's at my house and I have it. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's like it fits a lot of stuff. It could fit it's like if I was gonna go to work, I probably would bring that. But I feel like even that could be too much for work. But it probably, depending on how good the straps are, I could probably use that as like an overnight bag. For slight things, like not anything heavy, but if I was gonna go over to my friend's house and bring like a sweater and overnight like pajamas, I feel like I could do that.
Okay.
And like traveling, like I'm excited to use it. It's like it feels nice, it's cute, I love the color, it's Black owned, and honestly, it's not like crazy unaffordable. It's luxury bags for less, and they make them by hand. So yeah. I'm very much looking forward to it, and I'm just really excited to finally have these birthday gifts that I bought for myself. I literally bought these in around March, and now is when I got them. But that's what they said, that they were shipping them out between July and September 15th. So
Fantastic.
But that was it for me. You know, here with my sister. I'm loving it. Like I told you, she moved in, so she's here every week. It's been about a month now. It's interesting having her here. We get to spend time together. I love that. We watch TV.
Mm-hmm.
I cook for her. You know, it's just like, it's cool. So I like it.
Yeah, that's good. That's fantastic to hear.
What about you? What's bringing you joy this week?
Well, Kid Cudi wrote a tribute to Lil Nas X in support of him, and he criticized homophobia in hip hop.
I love that.
Yeah, honestly, like, I'm a huge fan of both artists.
Mm-hmm.
I came across Kid Cudi in college.
Same.
Say that 5 times fast. Came across Kid Cudi in college.
Came across Kid Cudi in college. Came across Kid Cudi in college. Came across Kid Cudi in college. Came across Kid Cudi in college. Came across Kid Cudi in college. Came across Kid Cudi in college.
All right, that was more than 5 times, but thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. You can go ahead and take a breath. But yeah, no, that just, like, the fact that, like, he is in heavy support of Lil Nas X, while also just being like, you know, like, it made him sad to hear that, because essentially, reporter asked Lil Nas X why there weren't any male performers as far as, like, guests on his
About Jack Harlow.
Other than
Jack Harlow. Okay.
Yeah, he had more of a special guest female, like, artist presence on the album than he did males, and he said that, like, maybe a lot of them don't want to work with him, and Kid Cudi said that made him sad. Like, like, he clearly said more than that, but what he said was, there's a homophobic cloud over hip hop, and he's going to break that shit down. So, like, hold up. We have to stand with him. I'm going to do whatever I have to do to let him know you have my support. And that only makes me want to hear a Kid Cudi Lil Nas X collaboration even more. So
I love you, Kid Cudi. Holla at your girl.
Shout out to Lil Nas X and shout out to Kid Cudi.
And I love that Kid Cudi, when he went at the Met Gala, he was wearing makeup and he had, like, dyed his hair. And it was a very, like, going against these heteronormative bullshit vibes that we keep having. But I'm grateful that we're finally getting more artists, more male artists, that black male artists that are speaking up for the right things when it comes to homosexuality versus being on the wrong side of history, because unfortunately there are a lot of TIs and Boosies out here, and I'm just grateful that we have another side of it where they don't usually highlight, but this is great. I feel like this is a step forward. We need it, and we need to just recognize that all rappers or all people in the hip hop community are important, and that's just kind of what we have to keep in mind.
Yeah, and you know what? I was actually going to say that, like, I know that I joked that we've only ever given the Snerd Award to Lil Nas X. I'm going to give Kid Cudi Best Snerd Porting Actor. Because he's acting like a snerd by supporting an actual snerd and an award-winning snerd.
Well, he also is a snerd.
And he is a snerd himself, but I'm going to give him Best Supporting because he's being supportive.
Yes, he is being supportive. You want to know who also I want to give an award to this week?
Whom?
To Simone Biles and the rest of her the gymnasts and the families who have been testifying at the what was his name? Nasser. Is it Larry Nasser?
I have not been following this case closely. I know.
I think it's Larry Nasser. He was the gymnast. He was a medical gymnast. He was a doctor for the gymnasts, and he was abusing them, sexually assaulting them. And Simone Biles is the only.
Yeah, you're right. It is Larry Nasser.
Larry.
Yeah.
Simone Biles is the only victim, survivor of his abuse, who is still currently competing. And she's really been taking the FBI and the Olympic organization to task for what they allowed, because they came out that they actually learned of his abuse, the way that he was abusing people or children and girls, years before she had seen him, and they didn't do anything. So I'm just giving her and all of them that honor, and we are sending all of our love and healing energy to them, because it can't be easy. Some of these girls' stories are very sad. All of them are not able to testify because some of them have passed away.
Agreed.
So we just want to make sure that they are lifted up, and I'm grateful to see so many people have been standing by Simone and tweeting her love, and she's been talking about that. Like, she was like, before I felt like only thing I was good at was gymnastics, but now it's like people are looking at me as a human, and that really made me happy too, to see that. So love you, Simone, and I think that as fellow survivors of abuse, that we can all stand by you and say that we're proud of you, and we hope that whatever terrible things could happen to Nassar do. And that's all I'm going to say, because you're not supposed to wish negative upon people, but I'm sorry. I'm wishing it on him and R. Kelly. I hope their penises fall off due to a random medical anomaly. And that's it. That's all I got.
Thank you. That's what's making me happy this week, and that's what's making you happy. Yeah. So if that's everything, then that's everything.
Alrighty. We're done for today.
Take it easy. We'll see you next time with more Black and Nerdy Podcast.
Bye. Why aren't you pressing it?
I'm waiting for you to stop.
Why? I was waiting for you to press it, and that's when I was going to stop.
Thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like to contact the podcast, you can reach us via email at blackandsnerdypodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at Black and Snurdy Podcast, as well as on Twitter at Black and Snurdy. You can find me, Maurice, on all social media under the handle Licorice is Legit. That's LICORISH is legit.
And you can find me on Instagram. It's that's OD THATSOD.E, and on Twitter, THATSOD_E. And don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe to us. Tune in next time to the Black and Sturdy Podcast, where nerds of a feather flock together.
Remember?
Bye.
Boy.
Not yet.
No, this is keeping it. We're keeping this in. Don't forget to take your meds and your subs and drink water. Bye.
Bye.
I actually want to keep that.